Well, hey, y'all, this is Pastor Dave Marsh, and want to welcome you back to the podcast. We have been doing a series of podcasts just exploring different educational options here in our region. And today I have with me Michelle Berry from Horizons Academy. Michelle, how are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks for being here. We have known your family for many, many years. I was kind of going down memory lane today and lost track of how many years, but you were with us in movie theater.
We were.
Yeah, and I remember you and your husband Donnell and Patty and I meeting at a restaurant downtown Oakland, which no longer exists.
Nice.
And you guys were getting involved in our kids ministry, and of course we're watching your kids grow up, and you're watching our kids grow up, and so it's been a journey. But I wanted to have you on today because you've got something exciting going on at Horizons Academy, and we want to let folks know what that is and how they can get involved and all that sort of stuff. But before we get there, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background in education?
Well, I have 18 years of public education experience. I started as an elementary school teacher and moved on to become a reading specialist. I served as an instructional coach, and my last position in public ed was actually at a central office. I was a central office administrator. So I was in charge of all the curriculum, K-5 in our district, administered all the federal grants, all of that.
Okay. So you've been in this a long time, a long time. And you were part of a group that we started gathering with a number of years ago. And just occasionally we would get together and we would talk about education and how the world was kind of changing and how we've got some great public options here in Garrett County, but that doesn't work for every single family. Education is not one size fits all. And so we were all kind of praying about different ways we could proceed. It was really cool to see how God has led that same group, but in different directions. And so Calvary, it came out of that. But then some other options have started to spring up as well, and you're a part of one of that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey? Again, you've got 18 years. You were praying, seeking the Lord, just looking at the way the world's changing and kind of saying, hey, what can we do to offer some alternatives? How did you get to Horizons?
Well, God really planted the seed about 10 years ago, and I didn't even realize it until I'd look back at a Facebook post that I'd made. And I said, really an offhanded comment of, well, let's start our own school. But, God is working even when we aren't sometimes.
Yep.
And so after COVID, I think mindsets began to change. It began to change in teachers. It began to change in parents. And they began to look at schooling differently, that it could look different than a traditional public school. And West Virginia actually passed some legislation that allowed micro schools to be formed. And in that, they also provided some funding to allow for school choice. The Hope Scholarship is part of that. It's an educational savings account that was formed. So when all of those pieces started coming together, that really solidified the planting of that seed in my heart. And God really led me. I left public education and took a position at a nonprofit organization and just really began to, plan for Horizons and started a nonprofit organization that this would operate under. And here we are today.
Yeah. And so you were operational last year?
Very small scale, small scale. Yes. Yeah. But, our 4 kiddos, we all learned together in this journey, and it was really great. My dad kept saying, this is the best group of kids you could have started with, and he was right.
Yeah, I'm sure you learned a lot from year one, and looking forward to expanding here in year 2. So for those who are watching us today and they've never heard of a micro school, give us kind of the snapshot, the summary. What is a micro school?
Sure. So West Virginia passed legislation that authorized the starting of micro schools. And micro schools and learning pods fall under the same category, similar category as homeschooling. So homeschooling would be one family taught by one parent or guardian. A learning pod is multiple families that would be taught by a parent or a group of parents. And then a micro school is a group of families that's taught by a certified teacher. And so we would have certified staff. So we fall under the micro school category.
Okay, awesome. And so the students are actually coming to you. How many days a week?
Well, we can be super flexible.
Okay.
That's the great thing about this, is that we can operate with a traditional school calendar, but parents don't have to necessarily adhere to that all the time. There's a lot of flexibility. So core instruction will happen Monday through Thursday in the morning, but we will be open Monday through Friday all day. We know we have working parents that need that support, and we would be able to provide that. So in the morning, that core instruction happens. In the afternoon, STEAM, gardening. We're going to get some chickens. I hope to get some bees to do beekeeping. We'll be cooking, a lot of hands-on learning, as well as Fridays too.
Yeah. So you're going to be covering the core stuff, but again, one of the keys to kind of just thinking outside the box here is you can be flexible in the subjects that you cover and some of the curriculum. And I know curriculum has really been your specialty, so I'm sure you're very involved in choosing the curriculum and really tailoring it to what you feel is important for those students.
Definitely. Every child will have a personalized learning plan, so they can move as fast as they want to or as slow as they need to. So in any area. So that's really, I think, going to be super important for our parents to know that the needs of their children are being met. Plus, we're going to start the day with devotions and morning prayer and be able to, weave in God's plan and God's story in social studies, in history, in science. All of that can be part of what we teach.
Awesome. I know my wife and I, she's only got one. She's homeschooling now, so life is changing for us. So, if you see tear stains under my eyes, because we've been, our daughter got married this weekend. We've been crying and all this stuff. But, she homeschooled 6 kids. But even with our own family, each of those kids is different, and their learning style was different. And I know sometimes there are certain parents that maybe get frustrated, and I'm sure their kids are frustrated because they're trying to operate under one learning style, and it's just not right for that child. And one of our middle daughter, it's like she would learn best kind of upside down on the couch, doing something. Like she had to be more active. I'm not saying you're going to allow upside down learning at Horizons, but the idea was they're just different. And you really do need to customize that learning plan and that learning style for each child. And you're going to be able to do that at Horizons. Now, we mentioned West Virginia has passed these laws that, are helping to even fund this, which is great for families who are in West Virginia. But you're also open to Garrett County students as well.
Absolutely. Yes. Maryland doesn't offer the same programs, but we would absolutely work with any family who wants to send their child to Horizons. We would definitely work with them on the funding and financial aspect of that. We do have a scholarship fund set up, and so we would make that available to anyone who wants to attend.
Yeah, okay, that's awesome. And the school this year is going to be housed where?
In the Silver Lake area in West Virginia, so near the smallest church.
Most folks know where that little church is.
Yes,
right?
I always point out that landmark.
Yeah.
And it will actually be in my grandparents' old house. My grandfather passed away in last August, and so that property has been available. And we think that it's going to make an ideal location for all the things we want to do, mostly outdoors. We can walk across the road and hike up a mountain anytime we want to.
Yeah.
So it's just a really great location, we think.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we're excited about, again, just another option for families in our region. Excited for you because I know this has been a vision for a long, long time. And so, parents, grandparents who are listening, watching, just be thinking about the needs of your family. And, of course, make it a matter of prayer. As what you mentioned earlier, more and more folks are saying, hey, I would love to be able to take my faith and incorporate it into my child's education. We want to raise responsible, successful, citizens, but we also want to raise Christians. That's what we are. And we want our faith to be a part of that education, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. And if there are ways that we can do that, we want to explore those ways. And it sounds like Horizons is going to be just another option for our region. So if someone's listening today and they're interested, they'd like to get some more information, about lesson plans and how it works and tuition and all that sort of stuff, what's the best way to contact you?
So they can go to our website. It's horizonsacademywv.org, or they can shoot me an email, and that's support@horizonswv.org.
Awesome. So once again, this is Michelle Berry with Horizons Academy, and kind of a new location starting this year in the Silver Lake area. Hey, I didn't ask you about what grades are going to be available.
So we are going to take any students from kindergarten through 12th.
Awesome. So there's a lot of flexibility there. A lot of customization is available, and it might be the right fit for you and your family. So go to their website or get in touch with Michelle, and she can get you some more information. We appreciate you tuning in today. Have a blessed day, everybody.